it's just jumping into it, right? Sometimes you don't know that if you just jump into something new, what will be on the other side. And how many people have died never tapping, never looking behind the curtain. At the end of it, you may not hold the trophy. You may not get the Oscar, but you tried.
Yeah.
And there's beauty in it.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. All right, Be It Babe. I am so excited for this episode to be in your ears today. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see that I'm in a different place in the pod room because our guest is in my seat. Ericka Nicole Malone is our guest today. She is multifaceted. We can add so many different titles to her, but she's a writer, director, producer, executive producer. She is also a singer-songwriter. She's doing a lot of amazing things. She's got an incredible series out on Hulu right now. And then she's also going to be releasing an incredible documentary called The Bucket Wish. And we talked about confidence and negative people and getting your ideas out in the world and doing things for you. It was just really beautiful and authentic and really fun. I'm excited for you not only to hear this amazing interview, I'm also excited to watch her incredible documentary, which will be out this fall. I hope that you write down your own quotables. You know, we put them on the podcast interview, Instagram, and hopefully you save those and share those. But seriously, grab a stack of Post-its, and every time she says something you want to remember, write it down, because you're going to have a bunch of little Post-its you can put around your room to remind you that you're doing beautiful things in this world. And the world needs to see your beautiful things. And that is what Ericka Nicole Malone is here to tell you. All right, Be It Babe. I'm really excited. I have a guest in the house today. This is so fun. It's so fun when there's a guest that's local. And I can't believe our paths haven't crossed before, but thank goodness for our dear friend Allison, who made sure I heard all about Ericka Nicole Malone and what she is up to. Just nothing short of kind of amazing. She is a multifaceted human, singer, writer, director. Forgive me if I put a title in there you're not doing, but I'm sure you're going to do it soon. Ericka Nicole Malone, will you tell everyone who you are and what you're rocking at?
Yeah, my name is Ericka Nicole Malone. I am a writer, a playwright, a screenwriter, author. I am a woman who is always about reinventing herself and inspiring others to reinvent themselves. And I am also an executive director, executive producer, and just full of life and wanting to live life and wanting other people to live theirs.
Yeah. Okay. So you said, I want to inspire people to live their life, and we're helping people with that. Where did that kind of come from? Is that something you want to do always? Was there something that happened in your life and then you're like, I've got to help other people? What's that impetus? What was that beginning?
I feel like it's kind of innate. I remember being little and just really caring about other people. I remember being 6 or 7 and going to the bank with my mother, and they'd hand out these suckers, which I think they still do. So this has been going on a minute. And I just remember they say, here, honey, here's a sucker. So cute. And I was like, but can I have a sucker for my brother? And they were like, they give me a sucker. I was like, but I have 2 brothers. And they give me, 2 suckers. And they're like, oh my gosh, you don't care about just getting a sucker for yourself. You care about your brother getting a sucker. And I've always been concerned about other people making it too, and the world, and people hurting, and just people in bathrooms. Whenever there's a housekeeper or maid in the bathroom, I'm always tipping them. I'm always concerned about people being looked over and forgotten.
Yeah.
And it's just so important to me that people find. I get so shocked when people don't realize, when they don't see people.
Yeah.
They don't see homeless people, or they don't see people who are around them, or Shoe Shine Man, that I'm always wondering how he's feeling throughout his day. And so, yeah, it's always a big part of who I am.
Yeah, I understand that. We were talking about before we record, and it's like, it's really easy for people to put themselves in places where they don't have to see anybody.
Yeah.
I'm so used to having all that different the different types of people around that it would make me uncomfortable to not see them. I have this funny story. My dad is really funny. He'll say, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm going to go there. I have to talk to people. And the first thing we do out of the car, he talks to everybody. He talks to we go to the gym at the Plaza Hotel and Casino, and we have to park in VIP, and he talks to every security guard always. Even if he just said hello to them because they let us through the gate, he still makes sure to talk to them. And I just laugh so hard because he's always like, I don't want to talk to people. But then he talks to everybody.
To everyone.
But I love it because he sees everybody. And I think that that's something that like, it's hard. It's not hard to do. It's actually quite something we could all do, but we get so busy in our phones and things like that. We don't see other people. And we also get really concerned with what's going on with ourselves that we forget to be concerned with others.
Yeah.
You mentioned all these different amazing things. I also saw that you are learning to play the flute.
Yeah.
So I guess what I think a lot of people will wonder when they heard all these things that you do is how did you have the time? Are you learning different things at the same time? How did you go from writer, producer, director, executive director? Like what was that line? What was that journey?
Well, when I wrote Remember Me, the Mahalia Jackson story, my business partner and I'm the executive producer of that along with my business partner. We wanted to finance it ourselves and so that people could see the story. It's now on Hulu. But at the time we worked with an amazing director. Her name is Denise Dallas. But at the time we produced it and it was done. It was an amazing feat to see something that you created come to life. But it was like, now, after I did that, before I wrote another script, I've kind of felt in my spirit I needed to create something else. And it was to push the limits within myself. What are some of the things that I could have done that I didn't finish, or things that I did try and I failed at? What are some of the things? And as I started writing the documentary for the Bucket Wish and creating the documentary, I realized that even though I have these huge feats that I have accomplished, there were things in my past that I quit on. Like playing the flute and when I was 10, or swimming when I was around, I think it was 8 or 9. What are some of the things that I didn't succeed in? And something I realized that when I failed at something, I just pushed it to the side. And I really wanted to explore that. Writing is something I excel in, right? So of course I'm not going to push that to the side because I can do that in my sleep, right? So I can write something, what do you want? I can get that done tomorrow. But something that you don't do well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And part of that is where your confidence is. Things that I'm saying, not everyone's meant to be a botanist. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if it's something that you yearn to do, say you yearn to play the guitar or you yearn to play drums or something, right? It's in your spirit and it's calling out to you. But maybe you just don't do it as well. But doesn't mean you should stop doing it altogether.
Yeah.
Right. And I would just stop doing it altogether and just focus on what I was good at. And that's not necessarily what builds your confidence. I think what builds your confidence is you have a yearning and a sense of wonder and you're thinking, I want to try this or that. But maybe you fail, but you get back up and you keep trying. That is what builds your confidence. It doesn't mean you're going to do it as a career. It just means that you're living.
Yeah. I think this is really beautiful because one of the things this podcast is about is ditching perfection. And I think we expect ourselves, we have to be good at the thing we said we're going to do. We don't allow ourselves to be beginners anymore.
Exactly.
And so if we
look silly.
Exactly. So if we weren't good at something. And I also think even kids today, they're like in one sport their whole lives. And I remember playing 7 sports and my dad's like, it's okay that you're not good. You're going to keep going to practice and you don't quit until the end of the season. And if you don't like it, at the end of the season, you have to do it again. So I love what you're talking about because confidence really is it's about following through.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily doing it for your work. And also, since when do we have to make everything we do make money?
Right.
We could just go swimming.
You can just go swimming. And I use this as I don't know if you saw Willy Wonka when it came out. I'm a big Willy Wonka fan from the very first inception, but also the new Wonka. But what I love about Wonka is it's just jumping into it, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't know that if you just jump into something new, what will be on the other side. Mm-hmm. And how many people have died never tapping, never looking behind the curtain. At the end of it, you may not hold the trophy. You may not get the Oscar, but you tried.
Yeah.
And there's beauty in it.
Yeah. Okay, so Bucket Wish is the documentary of you trying things out.
Trying things, the flute, I don't know. And so funny is there's different nuances of flute I don't like. So I'm not sure. Specifically spitting. But I hate germs and says it's a lot for me. But I'm gonna finish the lessons, right? Because that's the whole point. But I don't know if I'll do it. But I'm gonna finish the lessons. But I might be a drummer. Doesn't seem like there's as much spitting with drums. I'm not sure. There's that, and there's swimming. I need to learn to swim. All those kinds of things. Photography. I'm really attracted to taking pictures, and so I bought the camera, and so it's just different things I'm going to try and hopefully inspire people who had thought about giving up on their life, taking their life, that there's more out there. Don't quit. There's more. Keep walking.
Yeah. What is it like to kind of put yourself to be a beginner over and over again, though? Because I think that's it does build confidence, but also it's like to be a beginner at swimming, to be a beginner at playing the flute, to do these different things that are in your bucket wish. What was that like?
It was scary. That's the best word I can say. I had gotten into the Groundlings in Los Angeles when I auditioned, but I didn't finish. This was about 6 years ago, but I was like, this is going to be hard. I'm going to have to come to class every day. And they do these little projects and they do experiments. I'm like, this sounds like forever. And I just don't have it. And so I did, I did comedy in the Bucket Wish. Cause I was like, there was obviously a yearning for me. I graduated from the Youth Performing Arts High School in theater. So theater has always been a huge talent of me. So to do the comedy and do stand-up was pretty scary, to say the least. But because I'm a huge comedy fan. I love Tina Fey. I love all of those people. But I can tell you it grew my confidence.
Yeah.
And I thought I was confident because I'm a writer. I have a movie on Hulu.
Yeah.
But I wasn't as confident as I thought I was. And that was shocking because I'm like, I did modeling. What do you mean? I was in pageants. What? But I wasn't. And it wasn't until I did the Bucket Wish that I really became as confident as I know I can be. And now I'm shooting a new series. It's a lifestyle series I'm the host of. And I don't think I would have been as confident to do this had I not did the Bucket Wish.
It's really funny. You made me remember that I didn't finish a comedy class. I signed up for one in LA called Pretty Funny Women.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So Pretty Funny Women, you're back and forth at LA. That woman, you have to know her. Like I will find her email and connect you. She is amazing. And I went to the comedy class. It was on Monday nights and it was late. It was like at 8 something at night, which means I was in the valley. So I had to drive, but you know what I mean? So
it's such a track.
Such a track, right? Which is the thing about trying new things. It's getting the routine around it.
Yeah.
Anyways, she was like, yeah, you guys have to go to open mics. And I was like, that's fine. I'm okay because they won't know who I am anyway. So it doesn't really matter to me. But open mics are at like 1 a.m, guys, 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, I'm in bed. I'm
by
asleep.
9:30.
Yeah. So then I was just like, are there lunchtime comedians? Is this like a thing?
Are cafe comedians? Like we're drinking morning coffee.
Yeah. I think that maybe this is not the vocation for me. I know, because I was just like, because I can't even do the homework. And she really, bless her soul, she really, really, really tried to get me to come back. She's like, you're really funny. I think you've got some great experiences to share. And I was like, I agree with you. And I'm grateful that you saw that in me. Is there like an 8 p.m. open mic?
I totally need an 8 p.m.
Like, I don't care if there's one person in that room. I just can't do 2 a.m. I'm not that person.
Like, what are we doing up? Let's laugh about that. Why are you still up at 1 a.m?
Yeah.
So it's, but comedy was fun. I mean, I always knew I was funny. But I'm like bougie funny, like I'll be funny depending on how I feel or something. But it was great. That was the hardest thing. Swimming was actually the hardest. Yeah. But comedy was pretty amazing. Yes, please keep me in contact with that lady. I'll try it and finish it maybe. Maybe.
I mean, sounds like you already did. But I think swimming is really hard depending on how your experience was. If I remember, you had a kind of a traumatic swimming experience.
Yeah, it was someone pushed me in the water and you just feel like you're drowning. I'm going to tell you, when I shot the swimming, it's still hard. You're immersing yourself. And it's what says, I have a huge pool in my backyard. I just look at I look at it like it's a lake. I enjoy it like a resort, but I don't get in it. It's just like the water is just like, you feel like you have no control. I feel like I'm drowning, even though I'm not.
Yeah.
So it's definitely psychosomatic, but I am going to keep doing the swimming because it's life or death. You know, you have to learn how to swim.
Yeah, it's a good skill to have. Okay, so we mentioned a few times, but can you tell everyone a little bit more about Bucket Wish? I mean, it's you trying out new things. What can people expect from it? Are you hoping they they start their own bucket wish? How do we write a bucket wish?
I'm just basically using myself, you know, because when you think of the bucket list, it's like, here's my last list before God takes me out of here. I'm going to do all these things. God, I'm going to jump. But this is what are your wishes? What are the wishes for your life while you're living? These are wishes for you to complete while you're living. It's a whole other dynamic because you're going to live, say, I want you to be 20 and do a bucket wish. What are some of the things that you've always imagined you could do? Maybe it's animation. Maybe you want to write a children's book. I don't know. But I want you to believe that you can do it. And I want you to try.
Yeah.
I want you to try. Even if you have to put a little pin in it, put a little note card in and say, okay, I'm going to need a little break. I'm going to come back in the year. Follow through. Yeah. Follow through on your wishes for you.
Okay. I really love the way you describe that because I think it's true. There's the bucket list, which is like, I want to do this before I die, which means we can kind of postpone it till forever.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
it's
80,
like I'm about to do my bucket wish.
I know people are surprised because I haven't been to a lot of places in Europe. And I'm like, because I've not been to Paris and it looks beautiful.
I haven't either, but I want to.
It's on my list.
It's on my list.
But it's
our bucket wish.
Yeah. But I think if I put it on a bucket wish, it becomes something that's a little bit more like, it's got to happen now and I got to be thinking about it.
Yeah. And it's shocking because when I had those in front of me, by the way, that I was fresh off. I mean, I had no idea what my wishes were. It's like, oh my God, I have to do these things? And you're going to tape them.
Yeah. So, okay. So you had people. So here's the thing, because everyone listening here is like, okay, I'm going to write my bucket wish. You not only wrote the bucket wish, you actually then did it, but you had to let people watch you do it, which means you had to do it. You couldn't back out.
It was trauma. And I'm telling you, when I was going to do the comedy in front of that microphone in the back, I'm in the back dressing room with them hair and makeup. And I'm like, I just hope this inspires people. You know, I had no idea how emotional I was because I was so afraid of you have no idea how private I am. Yeah. I am so private. So for me to do this, it's my love of humanity that wants to inspire people to jump. I mean, there's just so many people that were like, I feel like taking my life during COVID. I don't know what to do. And I didn't recognize people really just don't know what to do. Yeah. And even now, after the strikes, you had COVID and the strikes in LA, a lot of people are just trying to recapitulate. A lot of crew people trying to recapitulate. It's not the easiest thing to do is to, you know, so make some wishes. And you might not know that in that wish is a career or a path.
Yeah.
You know, the way it is, you never, and for me, it's God. For someone else, it might be something else. But for me, it's like, you won't know until you take the step. As Dr. King said, take the step and the staircase will appear.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. So many people just do what they did before. And then it's scary when there's time on our hands. We don't know what to do with time on our hands, you know? And so
what do we do?
But if you had tried out different things, even if you weren't good at them, even the act of the connections, like my husband, everyone's like, how did you guys meet? I'm like, we're introduced by a mutual friend. And that friend is not even in our lives now. And she was like, and it wasn't even a bad thing. Nothing bad happened. She was kind of just like in for the season of one summer.
and then she drifted away.
And she drifted away. And I still see what she's doing on Instagram. She got married. Congratulations. It's really funny. But I put myself in a different position in that year to meet a new friend. And I was trying out new things with her. And that's how I met him. It's just, you never, not saying you're all going to meet your husband, but you might meet a future business partner or a best friend. Or
no.
You just don't know, but you have to try out things that are a little scary and a little bit like, what am I doing this for? What's the purpose behind this? Because it helps you find more purpose.
It really does. And so much of my life, I tell people all the time, everybody's like, when am I going to make it? I just don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen for me. And no big signs are coming, big movements. But all of my biggest blessings have come in small things. It's the small things that you're like, I don't know, this doesn't seem like it's worth my time. I don't know if I'm going to do this. And you turn your nose up at. And then wrapped up in that is this big, precious jewel that you'd never see had you not taken a step. So just be open to the small things. Don't always think, I'm too good for this. Mm-mm. Because maybe it's not the person, but maybe it's 2 degrees of separation from this person and the next.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, I kind of want to go back to before the Sundance, before the Hulu story that you wrote. What was it like to try to get your dreams that you had on paper out into the world? Because I know from living in LA, it is not, there are so many scripts that so many people are going to say, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. And it can get shelved. All these things can happen. How did you keep going? What was that journey like? And what were you telling yourself to just keep putting one step in front of the other, like you were saying?
I feel like I'm a great manifester. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm from Louisville, Kentucky originally. And I lived in Los Angeles for a little bit, in Burbank and Glendale when I was selling a sitcom pilot. But I always kept my house in Kentucky up until about 5 years ago. But when you're a Black woman writer in Kentucky, so it does kind of help you to be really mentally tough. And definitely when I grew up, there weren't, it's a sports town. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a writer. And they're like, okay, she's so strange. Yeah, honey, that's good. I went to performing arts high school, but I think everyone kind of just thought I had a lot of lofty goals and they thought I was delusional, I would say. But I just believed it was going to happen. So, after I wrote Remember Me, the Mahalia Jackson story, my business partner and I shopped around Hollywood, honestly. And then another movie came out. It was in similar vein. But we just believed that it was going to happen. And we would put it in film festivals. It just took off. And we ended up winning 40 film festivals, 58, 60 nominations. And from that, then we were able to get it licensed on Hulu because it had already gained traction for itself.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the belief in your own project and belief in your vision. And film festivals are always a plus, especially if you're a new writer, burgeoning writer. For me, I wasn't new, but a lot of people hadn't heard of me. But, I wrote plays to pay for tuition in college, and I believed that people would show up, and they did. I'd have 800 students in college when I was like 17 years old, $3 a ticket. And in my 20s, thousands of people would come to the plays. I just believed they would. I guess I just always believe it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I believe that if I create a project, someone's going to buy it.
Yeah.
It just depends on your perspective. I think if you're like, oh God, I'm going to create this. I wrote this magazine, or I did this animation. Nobody's going to buy this comic book. I'm just wasting my time. Nobody's going to buy it.
Right.
Why should I buy your comic book if you don't like your comic book or your animation or your children's book? You have to believe, oh my God, I wrote something. You just do not understand how amazing this is going to be. It's going to be really earth-shattering. It is. And you're going to love it. And they're like, well, I don't know how earth-shattering it's going to be. If it's really good. Now, here's the thing. You have to have the quality. You can't over-promote and underproduce. I'll say that. But if it's really good, you have to believe that what is meant to be will happen for you.
Yeah.
Because it will happen. It is possible. And so I tell people who don't have the money, they're like, I don't have the money. I'm a writer. I don't have the money. How do I do it? But do you have a phone?
Yeah.
Do you have people that are actors that you can produce something on your phone? People have won awards for their phone movies. Then you put it in festivals, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, this happens and that happens. Believe it's possible. So my next thing was like the bucket list. I'm just going to do a documentary. I've never done one. Let's do it. I want to do it. I want to have this idea about wishes. If it comes to me, I believe it's supposed to manifest. I just believe it. I don't ever not believe it. And something else I don't do is talk to naysayers.
Yes.
If you know your cousin Trudy is always negative, why are you calling Trudy? Trudy is going to say the same negative thing no matter how good the idea is. It's okay to believe in your own vision and talk to people who will get behind you because they believe in you. And a lot of times it's those one people who say something negative that are stopping that seed from growing. That could be the one. They say in everyone's life, you come up with $15 million, $1 million ideas in every single person's life.
Yeah.
But what happens to them?
Yeah.
And you say, I have an idea for this. And nobody's going to buy that. Nobody's going to buy that.
I mean, everyone needs to rewind that and hear that twice because it's so true. First of all, the idea came to you because it wants to be born.
It wants to be born.
It wants to be born. So in Big Magic, which I've read several times, Elizabeth Gilbert talks about how ideas come to you because they want to be born. And she shares a story about how an idea came to her and she did all the research, did all the things, and she put it aside. You're a writer, like you can talk about some of the stuff you do, but you keep a lot of the parts that you're writing close to your vest because you're still writing it and you're figuring it out.
Of course.
She met this other writer and she didn't tell her what she was writing on. And the other writer didn't tell her what she was working on. And then eventually months go down the road and she finally says, what are you working on? Just tell me, whatever it is. And the woman tells her what she's working on. And it's the exact book that Elizabeth Gilbert was writing and had stopped writing because she had other stuff going on. It was to the T, every single thing. And she's like, do you want my research? Because she didn't steal my idea. The idea was like, I'm jumping from you to her because I want to be born. And so I just want to highlight that because I fully believe that we're 100% correct. If an idea comes to you, you are meant to make it happen. And also, there was a podcaster who said 98% of people will not act on any idea. So you can actually even tell people your ideas because only 2% of them people will take action on that, which is so
really
small.
I mean, and also an idea can't be copywritten, only the expression of the idea. And they do that because of exactly what you said. A lot of times where you're thinking that someone took your idea, it's really is coincidental, believe it or not. But I have had things that I'm like, okay, this is too much like what I created because it was so new. But, the best thing to do is it's okay to not tell everyone your idea too.
Yeah.
But it is okay. Like you said, if you don't tell anybody, then at least do yours. Because if you don't, God will give the seed to somebody else. Somebody else will think of that idea. Yeah. So it's really important to that's what the bucket wish is about. Like you said, it's very immediate. I have went ahead and forward and put down payment on all of these things. I've done 12 things in this movie. And I've put a down payment on all these things and still making payments. Still making payments.
Like, the documentary is going to be out. Y'all can watch it this fall. And she's still finishing out these.
I'm still finishing out because people are holding me to it. What's going on with the flute? I'm like, I'm still doing the flute. What's going on with the photography? Did you finish swimming? I mean, now you got people wanting receipts on things, so it's forcing you. I have people inviting me to comedy clubs now. And I'm like, okay, I have a single that's out now. And they're like, so will you perform? I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Let me just put that thing, It's grew my confidence because I honestly didn't think I was as multi-talented as I think I am.
Oh, I think we're all creatives, and you got to test all those different creatives and see what you could do. I watched your music video; it's amazing. I was
Thank you
wait
so
a minute.
much.
I was like, she sings too. I don't remember Allison telling me she's got a music video.
I'm like,
as you've done films and shows, you already have filmed things before, but filming a music video is a whole different experience.
It's a whole different dynamic, and like honestly, it's dope. And it's performance driven. And there's so many singers I've talked to and they sound like Bette Midler and Celine Dion and they sound amazing. And they're like, yeah, I'm just going to, just sing at home. I'm like, if you don't put this album out so the world can be blessed by your voice. So it's like kind of using myself as a way to inspire all these amazing people to get out there and get back up and sing.
Yeah. I want to highlight one more thing that you said. You said you have to believe in your idea. And you can't do that. It's this little thing. It's like not this big deal because it is true. We have to believe in our own ideas because we are the ones who are going to fight for them the most.
Absolutely.
The best. And if you do, then there are other people who will spearhead and make connections because of your excitement.
That's
when you're so excited about it. People are like, oh my God, so-and-so has to do that thing.
That's it.
But if you keep it to yourself, you're just like, oh, it's just this little thing I'm working on the side. No one's going to take you seriously. So no one's going to tell their friend about it because why would they make that connection or talk about a thing that you're not excited about?
Yeah. And honestly, I'm not arrogant or anything, but I always knew I was special. And I think that's okay. I always knew I was different. I wasn't like everyone else in my class. I think people hide that. They're like, I'm just like everybody else. I don't think I am just like everybody else. I think I'm different. I think everyone's special in their own way, but I think I'm definitely special in my own way. So I think having the confidence to believe that you have something special. And I want to also say this because a lot of people deal with depression. You have to stop talking to negative people. If you don't stop talking to negative people, you might as well just tell your dreams. Just be honest with your dreams and just tell them, look, we're not going to do anything, because I got to talk to Trudy, and Trudy has gossip. So I got to hear the gossip. So I mean, it's more important than my dreams. And also fall to the middle. Don't fall all the way down, because in that it's time. If you are dealing with depression, try to fall to the middle. I tell people, fall to the middle. That means it's okay. You're going to have bad days, but just fall only so much. Mm-hmm. Don't go all the way down where it takes, you don't get out of bed for 2 weeks and you're crying for 3. And don't do that, because time is our most valuable asset. Money, you can let somebody have every bit of money you have, but just really time and your health. You have those 2 things, you're all right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Ericka Nicole Malone, you have so many gems. You have these little quoting moments that I want to just put on Post-its to remind myself, because we all will have some bad days, but just fall in the middle.
Fall to the middle. That's it. Don't fall all the way down.
Yeah.
Because you don't belong. There's nothing down there.
Yeah. And I know you're all listening and saying, oh, but it's my mom who's a negative one. I can't just not talk to my mom. You can also just not tell her the dream you're working on. When your dreams are precious, tell it to the people who get excited for you, and let mom talk to you about the weather. And
that's it. It's okay to have conversations that you're not giving all of yourself into. Yes, we have to check on our parents and everything, but you don't have to go so deep and tell every emotion. Just like, good morning. Okay. Well, have a good day. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later. Okay. Save the people for the safe space. Mm-hmm. Be careful on those. Don't tell safe dreams to unsafe people. Be very, very careful. You are your most valued treasure you have. Protect yourself. Protect your heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. We are going to take a brief break, and we're going to come back and find out where people can find you, follow you, watch the bucket list, and your beit action items. All right. Ericka Nicole Malone, where can people follow what you're working on, watch your stuff? Where can we send them?
Please follow me and all my grandmother's wisdom at Ericka Nicole Malone on Instagram, and at Ericka Nicole Malone on Facebook, at Ericka Nicole Malone on TikTok, Ericka Nicole Malone on Twitter. You can follow me at Ericka Nicole Malone. That's ERICKA Nicole Malone.
I love it. We'll have all those links in the show notes. You can follow on your favorite social platform. You can watch the Bucket Wish this fall. Yes?
Yes.
Awesome. And
very excited.
And do you know which platform it's on yet?
I do not know yet, but it's going to be starting out in film festivals around the world.
Perfect. You guys go see a film festival. They look so fun.
They're amazing. They're blessings. Blessings to creatives. Thank you, film festival.
Go to a film festival. Put that on your bucket wish. Okay.
That's right.
Okay, we always like to tell the listeners, because you gave us so many gems, but just in case they're like the overachiever, perfectionist, they need the action item, bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted steps they can take to be it till they see it. What do you have for us?
Number 1, I'm going to say, be kind to yourself. Start with that. Stop beating yourself up. You are a good person, and you are trying, and you woke up this morning. So start with that. Make clear goals for your life, and don't give up. Mm-hmm. Don't give up. You do those 3 things and you'll be on your way.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they should make a bucket wish.
Make a bucket wish. Make a bucket wish today.
And tag Ericka Nicole Malone in when you're doing your bucket wish, so she can celebrate you. We can celebrate you. Tag the Beit Pod. You guys share this with a friend who needs it. Share it with a friend who's been saying they want to do something and like, oh, I wish I'm going to do that thing. Get this to them, because maybe this is a reminder that they need, that they can go try new things. And that's where their confidence is going to come from. And leave us a review. Of course, we always live off of those. That is currency for us, just so you know. So we'd love that. Share this with a friend, or leave a review, or do both, because that would be really helpful. And until next time, be it till you see it.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Beit Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at beitpod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the epic team at Disenyo.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time.